The village healer, a wise old woman with deep eyes, opens the door to greet her. The healer's face shows concern and recognition of the curse. The room is dimly lit, emphasizing Salama's isolation. The mother-in-law's posture is stiff and imposing, contrasting with Salama's vulnerability. The once tense relationship between Salama and her mother-in-law has healed. The moonlight reflects the peace that has now entered their home. Salama, now in her final trimester, walks through a vibrant, lush garden, her hand gently resting on her belly. The image radiates warmth and positivity, showing Salama's peaceful acceptance of her pregnancy and her evolving relationship with her mother-in-law. Salama's hand rests on her swollen belly, and her husband looks at her with admiration. A traditional African wedding ceremony in a colorful village. Salama, dressed in a beautiful beaded dress, smiles radiantly as she walks with her husband. The mother-in-law stands at the back of the crowd, her face filled with jealousy. Vibrant fabrics and flowers decorate the surroundings. The village is alive with music and dance, but there's an underlying tension in the air. Salama's joy contrasts with her mother-in-law's bitterness. Inside a modest home, Salama prepares dinner while her husband sits nearby, smiling at her lovingly. The mother-in-law watches with a disapproving expression, her arms crossed, as she criticizes Salama's cooking. Salama remains calm, her expression gentle. The scene highlights the mother-in-law's frustration and Salama's patience, set against a warm, rustic kitchen with clay pots and wooden utensils. The mother-in-law, seeking to harm Salama, secretly performs a ritual under the light of a full moon. She is seen surrounded by candles, her face shadowed and filled with anger as she whispers incantations. The scene is dark, with the flickering candlelight casting eerie shadows on the walls. Outside, the night is quiet, with only the sound of distant wildlife. The magic of the curse begins to take shape. Salama wakes up in the morning, clutching her stomach in pain, looking confused and worried. Her husband, concerned, kneels beside her as she struggles. The mother-in-law is seen in the background, secretly smiling, pleased by the misfortune. The sunlight shines brightly through the window, but Salama's distress creates a sharp contrast. Her expression is one of confusion and helplessness as the family's happiness begins to unravel. Salama is seen walking to the village healer's hut with a slow, exhausted gait. Her hands rest on her swollen belly, and her face is filled with uncertainty. The village healer, a wise old woman with deep eyes, opens the door to greet her. The healer's face shows concern and recognition of the curse. The scene is set in a quiet, earthy environment, with herbs and potions hanging in the background. Salama is alone in her journey to find answers. Inside the healer's hut, Salama listens intently as the healer explains the curse. The healer, with a wise and gentle expression, holds an ancient charm in her hand. Salama, wide-eyed and fearful, listens carefully. The charm is glowing softly, its magical power revealed. The hut is filled with dried herbs and intricate carvings, creating an atmosphere of mystery and ancient wisdom. The healer's calmness contrasts with Salama's anxiety. Salama's condition worsens, and the mother-in-law's jealousy grows. Salama is seen sitting on the floor, cradling her belly with tears in her eyes, while the mother-in-law watches from the doorway, her expression cold and calculating. The room is dimly lit, emphasizing Salama's isolation. The mother-in-law's posture is stiff and imposing, contrasting with Salama's vulnerability. Salama, after weeks of suffering, stands in the village square, looking determined. The villagers gather around her, sensing the change in her. Salama speaks with strength, her hands outstretched as she addresses the community. The mother-in-law stands in the background, her face a mix of fear and anger. The villagers look supportive, while Salama's face shows both pain and hope, signaling her readiness to fight back. A dramatic confrontation takes place in front of the family home. Salama stands firm, her eyes locked with the mother-in-law's. The mother-in-law, visibly shaken, tries to defend herself. Salama's husband stands between them, looking confused but protective of his wife. The setting sun casts long shadows over the scene, symbolizing the weight of the moment. The tension in the air is palpable. Salama, with the help of the village healer, performs a ritual to break the curse. The full moon shines brightly above them as Salama stands in the center of a circle of candles, her hands raised. The mother-in-law, standing on the edge of the circle, watches with a mixture of fear and regret. The night is filled with powerful energy, with the glowing candles creating a mystical atmosphere. The curse is being lifted, and Salama's face shows both determination and hope. Salama and her mother-in-law are seen in the family home, sharing a quiet, emotional moment. The mother-in-law, with tears in her eyes, kneels before Salama and asks for forgiveness. Salama, with a soft and understanding smile, helps her to her feet. The room is warm and peaceful, with soft lighting and symbols of healing visible around them. This is a moment of reconciliation and newfound respect. The final scene shows Salama, her husband, and her mother-in-law standing together in the village, smiling and embracing a new sense of unity. The once jealous mother-in-law now walks beside Salama, showing mutual respect. The village is alive with color and celebration, symbolizing the renewal of their bonds. The sun sets behind them, casting a golden glow over their transformed relationships. After the curse is broken, Salama and her husband share a quiet evening under the stars. They sit on a blanket outside their home, surrounded by lanterns. Salama's hand rests on her swollen belly, and her husband looks at her with admiration. The once tense relationship between Salama and her mother-in-law has healed. The moonlight reflects the peace that has now entered their home. The background features the lush African landscape, symbolizing growth and renewal. The entire village gathers to celebrate the lifting of the curse. There's music, dancing, and traditional foods. Salama and her husband stand at the front, the mother-in-law beside them, now with a humbled and grateful expression. The villagers are dressed in bright colors, celebrating unity and healing. The firelight casts warm, golden hues on everyone, symbolizing the new beginning for the family and the village. The village healer stands in front of Salama and her family, offering blessings for their future. She holds a bundle of herbs and a staff, performing a blessing ritual. The family kneels in gratitude. Behind them, the village is bustling with new life, children play, families laugh, and the crops flourish. The healer's expression is wise and peaceful, reflecting the positive energy she has brought into their lives. Salama, now in her final trimester, walks through a vibrant, lush garden, her hand gently resting on her belly. The flowers and plants around her seem to be thriving, symbolizing new life and growth. Her mother-in-law walks beside her, carrying a basket of food, a sign of her new support and respect. The image radiates warmth and positivity, showing Salama's peaceful acceptance of her pregnancy and her evolving relationship with her mother-in-law. In a small, cozy room lit by candles, Salama gives birth with the support of her husband and the village healer. The mother-in-law watches, her eyes filled with tears of joy, grateful for the miracle of new life. This scene symbolizes the healing and transformation of their family. Salama, her husband, and her mother-in-law sitting together in front of their home. The baby is cradled in Salama's arms, and the mother-in-law stands beside them, smiling warmly. The sunset in the background signifies the peaceful conclusion of their struggles and the beginning of a harmonious new life. The African village is alive with growth, the crops flourishing, and the people thriving. Salama, now a respected elder, walks through the village with her grown children by her side. She carries the same calm and dignified presence she had throughout her journey. Behind her, the community continues to flourish, a testament to her strength and wisdom. The children run ahead, playing, while Salama's legacy lives on in the form of harmony, respect, and love that she fostered within her family and community. The village at peace. The homes are vibrant, the fields are abundant, and families gather together in joy. Salama, her family, and the villagers stand in front of the community center, a place of unity. Filled with laughter, music, and the sounds of a thriving village.